welcome into the Fan Addict Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. I'm your boy, Coach I. Where all my dogs at? All right, today we're gonna be doing an Alabama-Miami preview, and I brought some help in because we got both sides talking a lot. My brother's a Miami fan. I just met a friend. He's a fellow YouTuber. Let's bring him on in. He's from Alabama, born and raised. He's a Bama lifer. So let's bring Johnathan in. What's going on, Johnathan?
Another day, man, here in San Antonio, Texas, talking about Alabama, about to play Miami for the first time. I mean, I just did my preview not too long ago on this, and I'm excited to get the other side. And now I know your brother's a Miami fan.
Die
I may have
hard.
to cut this short, bro.
Hey, die hard, dog. Like I'm
Nah,
talking about. What's funny is I like watching him watch the games because he be madder
yeah.
at the team than at the opponent.
But I will say this, bro. Miami, to me, has some of the best pageantry and tradition when you talk about from the 80s and early 2000s. I'm wanting them to come back, bro. They were
Bruh,
like part of that, like, culture almost in college football,
think
for
about it.
real.
Miami, Florida State, and Texas, like they all been
Yes.
on the down. And if they come back and then the teams that's already good stay good, think about how college football would be,
Bro.
man. It's
Yep.
crazy. So let's go ahead and dive into it, man. So we'll go with the offense and defense first. We'll just talk about some random numbers. I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff you already done heard anyway. So as far as the numbers, I mean
Oh,
Alabama's
yeah.
Alabama's numbers are a little bit better. So offensively, Miami wasn't as bad as I guess as I might have thought before I looked up the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Miami's total offense, they was ranked number 32. Y'all was of course like off the chains last year. Y'all was number 4. And then
Yeah.
their pass offense was 29th. Y'all's was third. And both rush offenses wasn't like, world beaters, but y'all were 47th, they were 67th. So I mean, for the most part, both are in like the top, I guess, third of college football, which y'all's being, of course, in the top 10
Yeah.
for the most part. So
Now, the big illusion of that, man, I want to speak on this first. They got Derek King coming back. Huge advantage.
yep,
We got Bryce Young coming in. I get it. He's a 5 star. He's got all the hype. Did good in practice, like Allen Iverson said. It's practice, bro. It's practice.
it's
You know
practice.
what I mean? It don't mean nothing. Blake Barnett looked good for Alabama until he stepped on the field against USC, and Jalen Hurts had to come in and win it. So, like, I'll be honest with you. I try to be as unbiased as I can be. And people want me to come out here and just say that we're just going to smash Miami. It's going to be a blowout like the USC game. I don't see that. Derek King, number one, for the first half of the year before he got injured in Miami, killed it. The dude can run, he can throw, and what's Alabama's biggest weakness, it seems, every year, mobile quarterback that can throw down the field, bro. I'm so tired of seeing it with Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Johnny Manziel, even Garcia with South Carolina in 2010, bro. Like,
Yep.
it's like it does not matter. It always comes back to Honest, and I keep telling people you got to pay attention. You're talking about a brand new offense coming in too, with Bill O'Brien as the offense coordinator, Doug Marrone as a brand new offensive line coach. We got a lot of new parts.
Man, it's what's funny is you say that a lot of the Bama fans want you to come out and say you're gonna smash Miami, but you try to be a realist. That's
Yeah,
literally what my brother gets knocked for in his Miami groups. He'll say, okay, he'll be like realistic, and they be like, nah, man, you ain't no real Miami fan, man. We gonna go out there and we gonna kill Bama. He said, man, he tried to tell. He got in an argument. One of them like he's like, man, Nick Saban's never lost an opening game since he's been at Alabama. He was
nope.
like, you have to take stuff like that into consideration. They like, man, you ain't no real fan. You ain't no real fan. That's just crazy, man.
I'm actually catching that right now. Not even specifically because when I did my prediction for the season for Alabama, I predicted us to lose in the SEC championship game to Georgia.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, they jumped on you.
so I mean, I'm catching like so much, and I'm like, look, I'm just being real. Georgia is bringing everybody back except the secondary, which is youthful, which
Yep.
is the only reason I got Georgia losing to Clemson. Unless they can shore up the secondary, I
Yeah.
get it, 4 and 5 stars, but they still young.
True
But I
that. True
feel
that.
like they're going to sweep the SEC, go in the SEC championship game, beat Alabama, and get in the playoffs. That's my
Yeah.
prediction this year for Georgia. So
Man, I know that's definitely not a popular opinion with your
no, no,
with
no,
your
no, no,
fan
no, it's
friends.
not.
So,
But
but on to the defensive side. I mean, defensively, I mean, we're in an era of college football where if you can't score 35, 40, 45 points, you pretty much
yeah,
can't win a national championship. Defensively, you guys are untraditionally, I wouldn't say bad, but you wasn't good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like total defense, y'all was 32, pass defense like 70th. And
Yep.
that's why I think you guys are gonna, beat Alabama, but to the offensive standard that you were last year, I don't what so when I
No.
say take step back, I don't mean be bad. I just mean not be historically good. You know what I'm saying?
It, that's people don't take that into consideration, and that's what I said. That's one of the unpopular opinions on that video when I made that prediction. I said that look, Alabama is not going to be last year. That's not a knock against Alabama. You're being real. Like Mac Jones waited 4 years for his position to come in and learn the system and killed it. Learned it under Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian. I
Yep.
mean, who has an opportunity to do that? So yeah, and you're talking about Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. You know what I mean? Like Najee Harris. The list goes on and on when you're talking about that offense. There ain't no way, bro, you're gonna replicate that, especially the year after all these guys get drafted. It's unrealistic.
It is. And talking about those players, and that's one of the reasons why I say they're going to take a step back because you talk about Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, you talking about All Americans.
Yeah,
Personally, I believe John Mechie's all SEC, but I haven't seen All American out of John Mechie. I'm not saying he can't be. I'm just saying he hasn't shown that Devontae was literally uncoverable. If
yeah,
that's a word. You know what I mean? So
no, you're right. And here's the thing: you got Mechie ahead of me because I don't think Mechie's all SEC. I watched Mechie last year drop three
true.
passes wide open in the national championship game, and I watched him do it all year. I get it. I give the boy, kudos. Great route runner, traditional out. Basically at this point, it's a tradition for Alabama to teach your wide receivers be a great route runner first,
Yep.
then everything else comes second hand, right? But I am more. I'll be honest with you. I'm more locked on to Aggie Hall. I'm more
Yep.
locked on to Ja'Cory Brooks, and I'm more locked on to. We'll just say those two for now, and watch and see how Jaleel Billingsley basically transitions into this year for all the hype last year he got for making that run.
So what you thinking about your running back situation going from Najee Harris, who I actually was a fan of in high school, all through college, and now
Oh
you got
gosh.
Robinson back there. So do you think how much of a drop off do you think that is?
Okay, so there's a couple things to think about when you talk about the drop off. So first of all, you're going from I mean, me personally, outside of Derrick Henry, probably and Sean Alexander, we'll put him third on the list as far as Alabama running backs. We're talking about Najee Harris. Brian Robinson's been sitting back there, bro, for 4 years, waiting his turn. It's not that he's a bad running back. He's consistently getting 400 and 500, 600 yards a season, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns a season. I personally think he should kill it this year. He has a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. If he can stay healthy, I see him being and staying a consistent number one running back. My big thing is number one, Trey Sanders coming back from an injury, 2 years in a row, by the way, season ending injuries.
Sounds
How
like
is he
sounds like Zamir White.
exact identical to Zamir White? Exactly. And then you're talking about a guy that caught a lot of hype last year for Alabama in the backfield as well. And I'm talking about Jason McClellan, who I was high on last year, and I said, watch this dude. I'm telling you, like he's already ready.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of a little bit smaller of a Trent Richardson,
Yeah.
but Trent had no vision that the pros obviously couldn't see because when he got drafted to the Browns, I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. But either way, I think he's like a Trent but with vision.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that's good because Trent, when he, just a bowling ball, like he could just run you over.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, of course. And go back and if you watch any film last year on Jason McClellan, the kid can run and he has vision and he has top end speed.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see him too. But Robinson, if he can hold up healthy, man, I feel like he'll be in the conversation for maybe in the Heisman. I feel like he'll be the only one out of the Alabama group. I know a lot of people want me to say Bryce Young. I personally don't see it. Bill O'Brien's going to bring over more of a pro style offense. We'll still run the RPO, still run the spread, but more run. So it should favor Brian a little bit more than the others.
So what about okay? We talked about defense. What about what players can you tell me about on defense? Because like we said, the pass defense wasn't all that great, and you had a top 5 DB in that secondary, and you lost
Yeah,
them. So
yeah.
what you feeling about
Uh,
that?
I'll be honest with you. This defense should be top 5, hands down. And I
Okay.
know a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy, but the fact is Malachi Moore balled out last year as a freshman. No doubt what he did. He came in and played our basically a nickel corner or star position as we
Yep.
call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring back Josh Jobe, so we got experience. Not a lot of people realize this. Josh Jobe was a greenhorn last year, man. He didn't have no experience. Jalen Armour Davis is coming back this year. He's finally getting a chance to start. He looked really good all through practice last year. Looked good in spring this year. And then as far as you're bringing back Jordan Battle, sorry, at the safety position, I mean, we should be solid. And on top of that, Will Anderson's not a freshman, a defensive end, catching all the hype, obviously. And Alan Philadelphius Mathis, sorry, the interior lineman. We brought back almost everybody on the defense,
Okay.
to be honest with you. We lost Patrick Surtain, don't get me wrong. The dude, he killed it at the cornerback position. He went to the Denver Broncos in the first round for a reason. Um, but
I
I
have
will
my.
say this. Yes, I think I'm going to catch crap on this. I already know it. I said it last year. If you go back and look at my videos, I said Malachi Moore was better than Patrick Surtain, and people thought I was crazy until they got on the field. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, who's the one in the middle making the plays? It's Malachi Moore. It ain't
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain. The dude can't move laterally like he can. So,
I've been saying it, dog. When they started talking about the draft, and it was like, I think Patrick Surtain's good, but I'm like, I don't think he should have been the first DB
no.
chosen. I thought it should have been J.C. Horn or the kid
Yep.
from, I want to say Virginia or Virginia Tech. What?
Virginia. It
Yeah.
was Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I'm like, dude, he's good. I'm not saying, and see, that's how we are as fans. You know what I'm saying? If somebody don't agree that he's the best, they think you saying he's not good. I'm like,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
good, but like you say, he can't move laterally like a lot of those other
No,
guys.
he
So
can't, man. J.C. Horn was a monster, bro. To me, he should have been the first one. The only reason the Virginia Tech guy, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, wasn't is because the dude had back surgery twice.
see, I didn't know that.
So when you
Okay.
have back surgery twice, then you're going to drop off a little bit. So me personally, I would have taken it. This is just me talking from a fan perspective. If I'm a GM, right,
Yeah.
late first round at best is what I'm taking Patrick Surtain.
I got you. I got
So
you. Well, with the key players, I did find out like Miami returns 19 of their 22 starters from
yes,
last year, and like how with the offensive line you always use two deep, so they
yeah,
return 8 of two deep. They added Charleston Rambo from Oklahoma.
yes, big
The
pickup by the way.
huge pickup. And then my question is, and this is what I told my brother, as far as what they can do against Alabama, I was like, the question is De'Aaron King fully healthy physically and mentally, because he had a knee injury, and just because you get cleared
Yep.
don't mean mentally you ready for all of that. You know what I'm saying?
No, of
If he's
course.
100%, I think they can keep it a game for a while. You know what I'm saying, and
Yep.
make it interesting. But if he's not 100%,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the offense is gonna be able to move. But they got Don Chaney and Harris, the other running back that started in
Yep.
front of. So they bring back a lot of people. They got Tyreek Stevenson on defense from Georgia. So and then you
Yep.
got Bubba Bolden at safety. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting because, like you said, y'all bring back a lot on defense. They bring back a lot on defense, but they bring back a lot on
Yeah.
offense. So
Yeah. I feel like I'll be honest with you. I feel like Miami should have the advantage in this game. The only disadvantage would be the obvious, which would be the coaching. Nobody's going to say you're obviously better than Nick Saban as far as coaching goes, at least that I know of. But you're going to have the advantage with experience for sure. And the defense is probably matched up evenly. If I had to say, I would give Alabama maybe a slight nod, only because of the All Americans we do have coming back. As far as offense, if Derek King's 100%, there's no doubt this game should stay close.
yeah,
It's all going to come down to one thing to me, and that's going to be, can Miami's tackles keep our edge rushers contained? That's
mm,
what if they can do that, and Miami can somehow squeeze in a running game,
yeah,
and it's going to have to be in those you know what I mean, in the gaps in between the guards. If you could do that, then you have a good chance.
yeah.
Because Alabama's interior linebackers, I'm talking about Christian Harrison now, newly added Jalen Moody. He moved in and took Dylan Moses' spot. These guys, they don't move laterally really quick. So if you can get a step on them, then you have a good chance of at least gaining some ground. But it's going to be a grind for both teams, if you ask me, because neither one of them has really seen each other since '92.
Man, that's
You know what I mean?
exactly, and that's a long time. I mean, you can study film, but
Yeah,
you don't know a lot of tendencies if you don't play on a regular basis. So
exactly.
outside of yourself, what are like the Bama fans you talk to? Is everybody you talk to like we killing Miami, or
Bro, it's annoying.
do you have any other rational Bama fans?
I'll be honest with you. My partner in crime, that does, like I said, J&J Outlaw Sports Podcast. He's kind of on the same pathway as me. For the most part, 99% of the fans are, we're gonna kill Miami, we're gonna blow them out, blah blah blah. And the moment I ask why are we just gonna annihilate them, it's always the same thing. It's always because Bryce Young, because of we've done it every year. And like you said, to even go farther back, we haven't lost an opener since 2001 against UCLA.
Dang.
Yeah, and you talk about every opener Nick Saban's been there for, we won by at least double digits.
Yep.
So if there's one good thing Nick Saban's good at, it's obviously opening up and you not seeing our current offensive scheme because
Yeah.
it's always changing.
True.
So
True. Well, with the Miami fans, I think with my brother, he's told me that it's kind of like 50-50. You know what I'm saying? You have your Kool-Aid fans who like, we're going to go in there and we're going
exactly.
to tear Alabama a new one. Then you got the other ones. It's like, if we can do this X, Y, Z, like you said, if we can establish a running game, if we
Yep.
can stop their pass rush and Derek King's 100% healthy, then we should be in the game, for the most parts of the game.
Oh yeah,
So,
100%. And I believe if Derek King's not 100%, then I honestly do believe they're not going to have a chance. Derek King's going to have to be on point because you look at the trend. If you want to go back and look at the quarterbacks that beat Alabama, you're going to need. I'm not just saying this as a biased Alabama fan, but you're going to need some type of performance you've almost never had.
yeah.
And if you're not 100%, how are you going to get it?
Yeah, me and my friends on the last one, we touched on that too. Like the people to beat Alabama have been transformational quarterbacks, like
Yes,
quarterbacks that can win a game. And I know like you talked to some Georgia fans, like we should have won that championship. Well, the problem is when we had Jake Fromm was a game manager. He couldn't win a game for you, and that's
exactly.
fine during the regular season. But when you play the Bama's, the Clemson's, the Ohio States, the Oklahomas, you have to have a quarterback that can literally win a game for you.
Yes.
So, I mean, I definitely understand that. So, what is your prediction for the game? Like, how you think it's gonna go, and then like a final score?
So how I think it's going to go, I do believe number one, Alabama has this tendency, and I've actually watched quite a few Miami games recently, back in 2020, because I've pretty much been wanting to watch college football.
Yep.
Alabama has a tendency to start off slow in the first half, and I do believe that will be the case with such a young quarterback and Bryce Young, three new offensive linemen, sorry, and then you're talking about Brian Robinson getting his first start. I do believe it's going to be a slow start, a older Alabama type game, and that's going to be a run and grind game versus trying to throw the ball everywhere. And I believe Miami should hold up through 3 to 3.5 quarters really well. If Derek King is healthy and they piece it together, and they should have the adrenaline running, right? I mean, Miami's coming out. This is balls to the wall, man. Number one team, right? Like this is the way it should be. I think they will hold up good. I think the fourth quarter it's going to come down to depth and that's usually the case when you're
Yep.
talking about a team against Alabama. Um, Alabama's deep on the defensive line, which they haven't been in years, which is why I'm hoping to see the defense hold up this year in the fourth quarter versus last year, especially against Florida. Don't even talk to me about that game. And Miami has all the experience, so they should be there to like contain this game and hold it at least into the fourth quarter. But I do have a final score of 31-17, Alabama.
Okay.
And I know I'm going to catch a lot of crap because Alabama's not scoring 60 points. But once again, I'm being realistic. I'm giving a couple turnovers probably from both teams because Derek King coming back from that knee injury, you
Yep.
never know how he's going to be. They can be a little, holding the ball a little loose if you know what I mean,
Yep.
stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. But 31-17 is my prediction.
Okay. Well, I say if Derek King is 100%, like I say, to go physically and mentally, I definitely think they keep it a game maybe through the third quarter. I think Alabama, like you said, is too deep, too talented overall. But I really boiled down to if everybody's healthy, I'm giving the game to Nick Saban. Really, is what I'm doing. I mean,
Yeah, no, realist. Yeah,
I mean, it's Nick Saban. I don't know. Manny Diaz hasn't shown me enough. I know this year he's going back to calling the defensive plays, so maybe their
yes.
defensive, because they have talent. That's not the problem.
No,
I,
it's playing.
what I'm saying. But if, like you said, if De'Aaron King isn't healthy, it'll be more like a
Yeah,
35 to 10. You know what I'm saying? But if De'Aaron King's
yeah.
healthy, I'm thinking more like a 35, 14, 17 type deal. So
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see how healthy he is.
yeah,
That's going to be really, to me, that's the key behind the whole game.
the whole game.
How healthy is Derek King? Because if he's not healthy, like I said, then you're pretty much right. You don't want to be a Miami fan in the stands. I'll just put it that way. Like, it's being realistic, man.
That's true. Hey, that's true, man. Well, I appreciate you coming, stopping by, man, giving us a little
Oh, yeah.
insight for the Bama. Can't wait to get on your show so we can talk some Bama
Oh,
dogs.
yeah, for sure, man.
You know what I'm saying? For everybody out there in YouTube land, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And go ahead and check out my man Jonathan's other show. Go ahead and tell him what it is again, Jonathan.
So the name is actually just Johnathan Lewis. If you want, I can send you the link. You can just put it in your description because there's a million Johnathan Lewises, and I didn't realize that when I started it. So
I'll do that. So don't forget, y'all look down it'll be down in the description, a link to his page, and you can go check out some good, some rational, some educated college football content, not just Alabama colored shade. So
no. We don't drink the Kool-Aid, bro, on my show.
hey, that's right, man. So for Johnathan, the Bama fan, this is Coach I, and we are out.
Deuces.